la 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 la. La la la
Yo,
la
Lily, you see
la
this?
la
You seen this?
la la.
Yeah, it is a bit disturbing. I don't really know what's going on.
Taddy la 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 la. Taddy la 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 la. Taddy la 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 la. Na, 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 na. Do you know how to sing in Spanish?
I mean, I do. Do you speak Spanish?
A little bit. Un
Same.
poquito. Hablo un poquito. Uh, I speak also Portuguese a little bit. I speak many languages, a little bit of each language. I speak French. I speak of each language just a little bit, as they say in Portuguese. You know, in Brazil, and they want to say,
Also, is that your dog, Mr. Slave? That's pretty cute.
"I don't
Big
have a
dog.
dog. My dog is not
Spawned
alive.
in a dog.
My dog is both alive and dead at the same time." Tally la 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 la.
Lily, you see his dog on the screen?
Is that your dog, Mr. Slade?
No, I don't have. I don't got no dogs. I got no dogs. Okay, what are we debating? Let's debate something. Jensen, what do you think about Israel?
I'm pro-Israel.
Really? So,
Too.
okay. So, who do you think? So, what do you mean pro-Israel against whom?
Palestine.
Palestine. So, what's the issue with? What do you mean
Yeah.
Palestine? Like, so
Well, Hamas mainly.
Hamas.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. So, who created the Hamas according to you? Who do you think created the Hamas?
Palestinians.
What? The Palestinians created the
Palestinians.
Hamas? Really? Did you
I think
ever?
so, yeah.
Yeah. What if I show you that it's actually the Israeli government who created the Hamas? What would you say to that?
I would be surprised.
Okay, you'd be surprised. Why would you be surprised?
Yo, Mr. Slave, I didn't know you spoke Korean. What the hell?
Spoke Korean?
Yeah, isn't that Korean on the screen?
I don't know. I don't see anything. I see. I don't know what I'm seeing. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. La 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 la. Okay, so you're pro-Israel.
Yeah,
Why? But who is against Israel? Who's on the other side?
Joe Biden.
Okay, so I was gonna do
What?
a news review, but I can't do it here. So it's either I'm talking to you. If I'm talking to you, it's gotta be a debate. Otherwise, I'm leaving. It's too boring. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm falling
Aren't
asleep.
you Israeli, Mr. Slave?
No.
I heard you're Israeli.
Yeah, I heard many things about me.
Where are you from?
I don't know. Well, I don't discuss any personal information. Anyway,
Why not?
I don't
Just
want
like
to
the
get.
country.
I don't want to get.
Sounds German or something. I don't know.
I don't want to get doxxed. You know, I don't want people
Kind
to
of sounds
visit.
like Hercules, like 50 years in the future.
Maybe. He doesn't sound Balkan.
You're not Balkan, are you, Mr. Slave?
I don't discuss. I don't discuss anything about myself.
But you can just say what you're not when I ask.
What's look? It's too dangerous. I've had already enough death
Hey, dude.
threats, so I'm
Hey,
not
dude, a
interested.
country is just a place, man.
No, I'm not interested. Look, it's too dangerous. Let's stop.
This is like Hercules when he talks about how like Croatia's after him.
I don't know who
It's too dangerous.
Hercules is. I don't want to get doxxed. I'm happy
Mm.
with my anonymity.
Who joined? Who
Hey,
joined?
did you poop with anyone interesting lately?
Hmm?
Okay, so What are we debating? We gotta debate something. If we're not debating, then it's boring.
I thought you were doing news reviews, Slave.
I can't. I can't do it while you're here. I can't do the news review because
Why not?
I gotta watch videos to do news review. I just
We can watch
Yeah,
videos
you
with
could.
you. That sounds fun.
Yeah,
I
just
can't.
share your screen.
There's
There you
no
go.
way. I can't. I cannot stream. I'm streaming Discord, so I cannot stream.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't let me. I mean, it's really terrible. I cannot stream to
Damn,
Discord
Um,
and stream Discord. It's one or the other.
damn, that's wild.
Yeah.
you can use OBS if you're not. You can
Yeah.
use that.
I
That'll give you
tried.
more options.
So as soon as I installed OBS, it connected to my other account, and there's no way I can connect it to my Mr. Slave account. You're using OBS?
No, I just use Streamlabs. It's easier for me. Like I can watch videos and stream live all the time.
Wait, Streamlab?
Yeah, Streamlabs. It's what you use for like Twitch mainly.
And does it cost
But you can
anything?
stream to other. You can stream
It's
to YouTube.
free.
No, it costs nothing. They have the option for you to pay for like some more features, but I just use the free one, and it gives me everything I need.
How many hours a month do they give you?
It's unlimited, I think.
It's unlimited. Yeah, it's unlimited.
Oh, because I only get 5 hours 5 hours for free on StreamYard, and then I gotta pay like $30.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm paying.
Streamlabs might be for you then.
Streamlabs is free, I'm almost positive.
Yeah, it is. The only thing that they have for like the pay per play option is like editing software, so it's not stuff you would use.
I use the built-in YouTube editing software.
Yeah, so if you're using that, then there's no need to pay for anything on Streamlabs. You can just use the free version and probably will give you everything you wanted.
Oh,
I would try that.
you haven't tried that? You would?
I said I would try that.
Yeah,
That's what I use all the time, and I'm satisfied with it.
yeah. I mean, the best thing would actually be just to switch to OBS so that I can do news reviews while I'm on Discord. I don't know how that would work actually. Yeah, because I would just everything would be on Discord, and I would just stream Discord from like OBS. OBS is not sensitive. Like StreamYard is so sensitive. Like, it's a tab. Anyway, whatever. So I heard Ukraine is attacking Russia. You know what? I can do it from my phone. Let's just do it from my phone. But then we're not gonna see it. We're only gonna hear it. Teddy la 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 la. What's going on with Destiny? Is Destiny has he stabilized? Because I understand that he became unstable.
Did he really?
I mean, he started saying that because Republicans support the insurrection. So that guy that got killed in Trump's, he was unhappy. He said that he's sad that Trump didn't get killed, that Trump didn't get assassinated. He hopes next time they get him and stuff like that. You didn't hear about that? Maybe he stopped.
No, I actually was harassed by someone on like the Destiny podcast, and it kind of escalated into my real life. So I don't watch Destiny because it creeps me out. Because he deals with a lot of obsessive people and like wannabe internet celebrities. So I just kind of there's nothing else for me to watch on it, 'cause it's just like drama that he has with these unstable people. And then the reason the person started stalking and harassing me was because I left a comment about what I thought about what she said. And she took it so personally that she said, I'm going to make this person kill themselves. Literally, she had it in text. And she said it about a few other people as well. And then just like started harassing me for months. So I don't watch Destiny because it just disturbs me.
Hmm.
And it's not ever interesting enough to warrant that. You know what I mean? Like all they're really doing is just like, oh, can I say the N word? No, no, you can't. Yeah, well, I still am going to. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's not very interesting.
So interestingly enough, I think that Destiny saved my life.
Really?
Basically, I don't know.
How did that go?
So, like, I was basically a right winger. I was an extreme right winger, and then I heard Destiny, and he very quickly went through all the right wing talking points, and he debunked them one by one, like nonchalantly. Once he did that, like he cured me of all my extreme right wing positions. Like I was pro Putin, I was anti Ukraine, I was the whole thing, and like very quickly he fixed everything for me. He answered every question, but like the insurrection, like I understand the people who went through the insurrection. Like I would say that if I was actually going to go. I was in America at the time, and I planned to go with a friend. We were planning to go. Like we didn't think twice about it. Trump said come over, so we were just planning to come over. If I would have gone, my life would have been destroyed. So to tell me that we need to destroy these people's lives, that's evil. That's terrible. Like no, I don't think any of the people that ended up in this so-called insurrection, I don't think any of them planned it. I don't think Trump planned it. I think the whole thing, it happened. Like
Donald Trump. This was technically QAnon, not Donald Trump.
I don't listen. To this day, I don't even know what QAnon is. I have no idea. I keep hearing QAnon, QAnon. I don't know what that is. All I listen to is sometimes Trump, and that's it. Like I don't have any source of information. I listen to the normal YouTubers like Tim Pool. I don't. I no longer listen to Tim. Like he's a buffoon as far as I'm concerned. I used to listen to him. He was my source of news. And now, if I ever listen to news, it would be Destiny, basically. I mean, then I started binging Destiny, and everything started making so much sense. It was really great. But then and then he started talking about after the assassination, he lost his mind. It's like now it's my turn to save him. But I don't like I've been banned off his server because they told me I need to delete all the videos that I recorded while debating people on his server. So I said goodbye.
That's not fair.
I know.
That's something that people commonly do. That's what his server is basically for.
Well, that's what that's why they banned me. They banned me because I refused to instantaneously delete all the videos from my YouTube channel. I would have to go through all these videos and decide which ones I recorded on his Discord, and they didn't give me a second. In a second, I was insta banned.
That's a bit of an outrage.
Yeah, and I can't go talk to him. There's no way I can communicate with him. So if anyone has any access to Destiny, tell him I want to talk to him. I'll gladly
The thing is,
debate.
it's really bizarre how these people seem like threatened by everybody when it's like you have a smaller following and it's like no threat to the type of basically he created his own like industry based off his personality. Now he himself is a business, and it's like that what you're doing doesn't compare to that. So I wonder why they have that sort of mentality where it's like, oh, we're going to pull you down so that you never amount to be like as much as we are.
I don't even know. Like, look on Discord, on many servers, they don't allow you. It's against the TOS of many Discord servers to record. And like I went to some Discord servers and got an instant message: you've been banned because your profile says streaming, and that's against the TOS. So I got instant banned from servers just yesterday or today. So, and all I want to do is just create content. I just want to debate people. But if I'm not recording my debates, then what's the point? Like it's such good content, but they don't let you make this content. Terrible. Anyway, if anyone has access to Destiny, tell Destiny I want to talk to him. If he wants to talk about the insurrection or Trump assassination, whatever you want, I'll debate you, Destiny. Anyway, um, so I heard. So is anyone here on Putin's side? Like I was, like I used to be? Is anyone here on Israel's side, like I used to be?
I'm pro Israel.
Yeah, everyone here is pro-Israel, but I mean pro-Israel against what? Against who? Like, okay, let me ask you a different question. How do we fix it? Right? How do we fix the situation with Israel? What's the solution? So why?
I think that the opposing party has kind of shown that they're there for a hostile takeover and to threaten like the freedom of not just the Israeli people but for everyone involved.
Okay, but how?
And it's meant to be a takeover. It's clearly inappropriate. We should stop it by fighting these Muslim extremist groups. Like we should get rid of Hamas. We should also get rid of ISIS.
Okay, but Hamas. Do you know the history of Hamas? Do you know how it came to be?
Hamas was a subsection of ISIS that was upset at the fact that ISIS wasn't extreme enough. So now ISIS is seen as like opposing Hamas when it's not. It's just a previous gang.
Okay, so as far as I know, it's the Israeli government who created the Hamas. Did you ever hear of that?
I think that's a misconception.
No, that's a misconception.
I think that like when people say it was them who created Hamas, it means that people were frustrated enough to like start Hamas, because of the Israeli government. It doesn't mean that the
No,
Israeli government like
no, no, no,
created it. No.
no, 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 no. Is the Mossad created the Hamas? Let me see. Unlike other Palestinian factions of the PLO, whose Fatah faction, let me just ask Brave: Israel create the Ham? Oh, yeah. It auto. No, it doesn't. The Hamas. Did Israel create the Hamas? Based on the provided search results, there are conflicting viewpoints and claims about Israel's role in the creation of the Hamas. EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell. Borrell has repeatedly claimed that Israel helped create and finance Hamas, stating that Israel aimed to weaken the Palestinian Authority Fatah by supporting Hamas. He has also alleged that Israel enabled Hamas development by allowing Qatari aid to flow to Gaza. That's exactly what I know. Other sources, some sources.
So
Mhm.
Hamas was actually created by the Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood movement, and it's been active in the Gaza Strip since the 1950s. It just gained more influence more recently, and that's because of the opposition with ISIS. So you can blame Hamas on Egypt, not on Israel.
Okay.
Did Israel provoke Hamas? Not really. If you consider freedom to be a provocation, then perhaps. But that's why we were attacked on 9/11. If the things that we have access to are inherently provoking people, then what they're attacking is freedom.
Okay. Let me just go through the sources, a bunch of sources according to Brave AI. Other sources, some sources such as the article, quote, Israel's historical role in the rise of Hamas, unquote, from the Japan Times. So the Japan Times, I would say, is kind of objective. Like they don't have an angle. November 25th, 2023, suggests that Israel's divide and rule policy contributed to the emergence of Hamas as a rival to Fatah. Exactly. However, these sources do not explicitly claim that Israel directly created the Hamas. No one says directly. It's a black operation. It's a black op or whatever. It's a psyop. Next, Israeli denials. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has denied any efforts to boost Hamas or create a rift within Palestinian society. Well, of course he would. He's not objective. This is the first source that is not objective. I don't. He, of course, he's going to deny if he did it. He caused all the problems in the world. Of course, he's going to deny. He has rejected claims that Israel financed Hamas or sought to weaken the Palestinian Authority. Of course, he's going to claim that if he did it. I don't want to hear it. He doesn't have an opinion. He is the most guilty party in this discussion. Why would we? Of course, he would deny the allegations. The criminal denies the allegations. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. Number four, historical context. Hamas emerged in the late 1980s as an Islamist offshoot of the Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood. The group's founders, including Sheikh Ahmed Yassin and Abdelaziz al-Rantisi, were influenced by Islamist ideology and Palestinian nationalism. Israel's occupation of Gaza and the West Bank, as well as blah, 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 contributed to the growth. Yeah, okay. All right. In conclusion, while there are differing opinions and claims that Israel's role in the creation of Hamas, the majority of the search results suggest that the Israel's policy and actions, including its occupation and treatment of Palestinians, contributed. I don't care. Anyway, I remember headlines. Today, Israel sent the head of the Mossad to go to Qatar to bring suitcases of cash to hand over to Hamas leader Ibrahim Haniyeh. I remember these headlines. Let me see. Mossad, Qatar, suitcase, cash, Gaza, and something like. Okay, let's see. Showing Mossad, Qatar, suitcase. Israel drove suitcase. This is from Business Insider. Israel drove suitcases stuffed with cash into Gaza to keep Hamas in control. December 11th, 2023. In 2018, Netanyahu's administration came up with a plan. This is from Business Insider. So what? They're anti-Israel? According to the New York Times, are they anti-Israel? As part of the peace agreement with Hamas, Qatar would bring millions into Gaza to distribute to Gazan families, the outlet reported.
I think it's pro any country to prove that there's espionage because that's going to bring the country down as a whole.
Wait, what?
Like I don't consider people who are like truthers to be like anti-country. Like I don't consider like Edward Snowden to be anti-American.
I'm not.
But
What's the
I'm
truth?
also going to question the validity of those claims. A truther is someone who like breaks a story like that. Someone who like finds out the government like caused an attack on their own country or like lied significantly, like suppressed information or resources. Like that would be a truther, like someone who breaks journalism.
But this information has never been suppressed. I mean, this was common knowledge. I don't know, like some people don't know, but some people do know. I have never debated anyone who denied it. Either people know about it or they don't know about it. No one denies it. No one says it never happened. Either you were there, you remembered the headlines as it happened. I remember it. I remember it like it was yesterday. I don't. No one is denying it. I don't know if anyone is denying it. I just read you from Business Insider quoting the New York Times. So, okay. The Times of Israel. Palestinian Authority fumes as suitcases of gangster Qatari cash reach Gaza. Palestinian civil servants formed long lines in Gaza on Friday to receive Qatari funded salaries as part of the efforts to ease tension in and around the impoverished territory, even as the Palestinian, whatever, okay. Telegraph. Israel sent suitcases of cash into Gaza for years. This is December 11th, 2023. Israeli officials shuttled suitcases filled with Qatari provided cash to Gaza for years, despite concerns the money was being used to fund Hamas's military wing. It has emerged. I don't know, nothing has emerged. This is Telegraph from December 11th, 2023. This is common news. CNN, 2018, November 2018. Suitcases of $15 million in cash from Qatar bring relief to Gaza. So the article. After months of negotiations, Qatar has delivered $15 million to Gaza with the intention of paying salaries for Gaza's civil servants. These are, what Israel considers terrorists. Oh, you left? She probably dropped off. Okay, whatever. Let's do I don't know, maybe some news. Let's go over some news. Or we can continue. Yeah, I wanted to actually go over what happens. Let's look at this. What happens? Well, let me change. What I noticed is if I change the name of the stream, so YouTube funnels in people who are interested in the topic. So let's talk more about um, the okay apparent paradoxes, or let's resolve an apparent. How do you spell apparent? Apparent. That's not how you spell apparent. So how do you spell apparent? Apparent. Apparent. It's an apparent. It's two words only. Apparent. Okay. Apparent. How do you spell apparent? Is it with an ENT? Yeah, apparent. Let's resolve an apparent paradox in ether theory. So we're going to use the ether theory and create a paradox of two observers. The two observers, one is going to be moving and the other one is not. And let's resolve this paradox. I think dialect already resolved it, but I need to go through this again because I'm unable to resolve it in my mind. So the ether theory, two observers, two observers. So they say one is prime and the other one is not prime. Two prime observers, whatever. Two observers. One is moving and the other one is stationary, whatever. Well, they both can claim, even in the ether, they can both claim they're stationary. Two observers, whatever. Let's look at this paradox. Let's resolve an apparent paradox. Well, this is in ether relativity. Let's call this ether theory relativity. Let's resolve, or let's just say relativity. Special relativity. Let's resolve an apparent paradox in ether theory. It's not in ether theory. Using ether theory with two observers. This is the two observers paradox. So let's resolve the two observers paradox. Two observers paradox. So the two observers paradox, one is moving and the other is stationary with respect to the ether. It's going to be a little bit different than Einstein's relativity. Okay. La 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 la. Wait, I had to take a message and I never took it. La 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 la. Wait, I have a message on my Instagram. Oh my god, I'm so stressed out. Oh my god. I'll call you in a bit. 6:50. Oh, it's been a war. It's been a long time. Okay, so and let's see if the other message. Okay. Is it urgent? Okay. So let's look at the. Wait, how's the audio? Did we test the audio? Testing the audio. La, la, la. Okay, audio is good. Okay, let's look at this video. We never finished this video.
Clock B will actually tick faster than its counterpart. However, if clock B wants to catch back up to clock A, it must do so by traveling through the air at a velocity
So let's start this scenario.
B.
This is scenario
Start in
2.
motion. But now let's consider the second case, wherein both clocks start in motion with respect to the air. In this case, both clocks begin by ticking slowly. Let's label them clock A and clock B. Next, clock B abruptly slows down, so it is stationary with respect to the air, while clock A continues traveling off. Once stationary, clock B will actually tick faster than its counterpart. However, if clock B wants to catch back up to clock A, it must do so by traveling through the air at a velocity greater than that with which clock A is already traveling. So let's say clock B spent 5 seconds being stationary with respect to the air, during which clock A traveled away at a velocity of 3/5 the speed of sound, so that over this duration it recorded only 4 elapsed seconds. Next, clock B travels at a velocity of 4/5 the speed of sound in order to catch back up to clock A.
So we can actually use time dilation, the equations that we developed, in order to see how the clocks are going to end up.
Traveling at this velocity, it will take clock B 20 seconds to catch back up to clock A. Over this duration, 16 more seconds will have elapsed on clock A, resulting in the clock showing 20 total elapsed seconds. But for this same duration, only 12 seconds will have elapsed on clock B, resulting in the clock showing only 17 total elapsed seconds.
So clock B ended up traveling faster, and the faster you go, you disproportionately slow down your ticking. It's disproportionate because as you get closer to the speed of the waves in the medium, your clock stops. So I don't know, whatever. It's whatever the equations tell us.
Thus, when they are reunited, the clock which turned around to catch back up will still show less elapsed time, even though it was at rest with respect to the air during some portions of the trip. Now, we can repeat this experiment assuming any arbitrary initial velocities of our sound clocks with respect to the air, and the end result.
Okay, let's check messages. Okay, no one is here. It's fine.
Will always be the same. Whichever clock.
Basically, I need to be able to think quickly about relativistic effects in the ether. I need to be able to do that, and I need to be able to figure out. I have so many questions that I still need to figure out. Like Einstein's equivalence principle, I don't think my intuition is you don't need it. You don't need the equivalent. Equivalence principle doesn't really tell you anything. I don't think there's any laws that derive from it. I don't think that the equivalence principle is at the foundation of general relativity.
turns around to rejoin its companion will always end up showing less elapsed time. This is in consequence of it achieving a greater total average velocity with respect to
Oh, greater total average velocity. Yeah, that could do the job.
the air over the duration of its trip. Likewise, in special relativity, we find that for any two clocks that are
But if it travels at the speed of the wave, if it travels at the speed of the wave, then its clock, then the ticking stops and it catches up instantaneously. Is it instantaneously? No, it's at the speed of the wave. You can never, right? You cannot break the speed of the wave. That's the rule. So even at that time according to the waves. Let's say there's always an observer at in reference to the wave at the preferred um, frame of reference of the ether itself. So that observer would see the clock moving at the speed of the wave, and the clock would stop. Clock B would still take time according to the ether.
separated and rejoined, whichever clock turned around or accelerated to rejoin its companion will always end up recording less elapsed time. Unfortunately, in special relativity, due to the insistence on preserving the symmetry of observers' differing states of motion, there has never been a clear consensus on what causes time dilation. You can see that even the experts are clearly confused by it, such as when they inaccurately claim that only acceleration causes time dilation.
Acceleration causes time. What's the evidence for that?
Or conflate time dilation with the Doppler effect.
Yeah, I did that in the beginning. Wow, that's terrible.
Or even bequeath unto time dilation the power of causal agency itself. Then, of course, there are the multitude of differing interpretations as to what resolves the twin paradox. But in our sound clock universe, something like the twin paradox becomes exceedingly simple. All we need to do is imagine constructing something like, say, humanoid robots, which operate based off of sound signals.
Good. So their internal brain work on sound. That's good. And the brain is open, so the speed of so as they move, as this humanoid robot moves through the air, its internal mechanism works slower. So its consciousness slows down.
Then any functioning in these robots will be affected by their motion through the air, such that
This is brilliant. This is literally Einstein's thought experiment, you know, in just in air waves, perfect in sound waves.
they will experience time differently depending on that state of motion. For instance, say we construct two robots that are designed to sprout white hairs when they turn, say, 10 seconds old based on their respective sound clocks. Then, if we separate and rejoin these robots, we'll find that whichever robot turns around or accelerates in order to rejoin its twin will take longer to sprout its white hairs, and thus, in accordance with the results of the twin paradox, wind up being the younger twin.
Nice. You can just show that the color of the hair grays. So you will show that the one that stayed became gray, and the one that traveled still has youthful black hair.
So, what does this all mean? Well, essentially, any observable demonstration of time dilation that we can make in special relativity can be mapped to a demonstration of time dilation in our sound clock universe. This strongly suggests we could invert such a mapping and interpret relativity not as some mystical theory about the altering of
So this is proof of ether, basically. Let's see if he's going to say that.
space and time, but rather as a theory about how, just as sound always travels at the same speed through the air, light always travels at the same speed through some sort of medium.
Finally, they're showing light as spherical waves.
This is a model known as dynamical relativity.
Really? Isn't this just ether? Oh, so people wrote about this?
Rooted in Lorentz's ether theory, it was revived in
What do you mean rooted? This is ether theory.
modern form around the 1980s after drawing inspiration from the wave mechanics of quantum physics.
From the wave mechanics of quantum physics? Why do you need to go so far? I mean, again, quantum physics comes out of the ether theory. Everything needs to be waving.
But in
This is so backwards.
academic
Okay, let's check. Let's check if we have any influence on us. La 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 la. La 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 la.
journals, it's often presented as merely a heuristic tool, an aid for intuition for incoming students, as opposed to an actual interpretation in its own right. Of course,
Let's see. Shrink these gaps by tracing relativistic effects to their underlying physical mechanisms, at least qualitatively. So everybody is afraid to lose their tenure.
revived in modern form around the 1980s after drawing inspiration from the wave
Special relativity from the dynamical viewpoint. William M. Nelson, asterisk, received May 4th, accepted. What's the asterisk?
mechanics of quantum physics.
Source independence of wave speed causes changes to the tick rate of moving clocks as demonstrated most clearly within the venerable light clock. The light clock consists of a light pulse. Okay, I'm tired.
But in academic journals, it's often presented as merely a heuristic tool, an aid for intuition for incoming.
Complete reliance on Lorentz invariance can nevertheless leave the uncomfortable sensation of a gap in understanding. I don't understand. Complete reliance on Lorentz invariance. What is Lorentz invariance?
Students, as opposed to an actual interpretation in its own right.
What is the actual interpretation, if not ether? The dynamical approach to relativity aims to shrink these gaps by tracing relativistic effects to their underlying physical. People write papers. Jesus Christ, I can't. It's like on purpose to not be understood. I don't know what these guys are saying.
Of course, due to the staunchly entrenched dogmas of modern physics, it's hard to imagine that such papers would ever get published were they to present the idea in any other way. But for the critical thinker, the fact that we can recreate the formalism of relativity in a toy universe wherein information travels via sound waves instead of light waves should set off some pretty serious alarm bells.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think watching this video, even though I probably didn't understand most of it, but it of course, just seeing this, it's like, okay, so there is no special relativity. This is just waves. This is just waves. There's nothing. There is no relativity. There's just waves. Critical thinking alert. Yeah, people cannot think critically. People are terrified.
Well, okay, but you might object that we haven't recreated the entire formalism of.
You can do anything. I mean, the first thing I did was went into a black hole. Everything immediately I went to understand what a black hole is. Using ether, a black hole is so mechanical, it's so simple. You can easily travel inside and outside a black hole. I mean, relatively easily. It's so straightforward. What is this? Gamma X? Yeah, that's length contraction and time dilation. Okay, in proper time or something.
relativity.
And this is a black hole with the other side and the Einstein-Rosen bridge. That's such nonsense. The Einstein-Rosen bridge and the wormhole is such nonsense. And the Penrose and this the other side of the black hole. That's such non. That's so. That already is unscientific. That is unscientific off the bat. That's such nonsense.
Just parts of it.
I mean, the singularity is just because you chose a point mass and you went into r equals zero of a point mass and you got an infinity. Well, don't choose a point mass. You don't. There's in reality there's no point mass. But if you choose a point mass, yeah, then the density is infinite. That's the given. Oh my god, that's how it all began.
Indeed, let's recap what we have done so far. First, we've shown that time dilation can be interpreted as a mechanistic effect of setting clocks in motion relative to a medium. Then, we've shown that if you don't know what your motion is relative to that medium, no coincident comparisons of clocks, i.e., comparisons where clocks have been separated and then rejoined, will ever reveal it to you. Lastly, we've shown that if information itself is assumed to be transmitted through this medium, then this dilation effect isn't just limited to clocks, but rather extends to anything that relies on that information for its functioning. If you're familiar with relativity,
Don't show relativity with a beam like that. Show it as a wave, and then it becomes clear. Why are you showing it like that? That doesn't make any sense.
already seen time dilation derived in a mechanistic-like Pythagorean manner for light clocks before, so the first point shouldn't be too surprising. Similarly, you're probably already aware that the speed of light is also conjectured to be the speed of information, so the third point shouldn't reorient your understanding much either. But the second point gives us something crucial and new, because it offers us a sort of uncertainty principle for clocks. That is, since no clock-based measurement could ever be used to determine our motion with respect to the ether, this means there's no way to tell if our clock is ticking in accordance with true universal time, or if it is ticking.
Yeah, you can with an interferometer. Of course, you can. Of course, you can with an interferometer. You will get an interference.
At a dilated rate.
No, let me respond. Let me respond. Can you reproduce? No answers. Okay. So relative. La la la. All right. Yeah. Tick tock took. Okay. So about that thing you just said. Wait, what did you just say?
True universal time, or if it is ticking at a dilated rate. Meaning it is not time itself which is relative, merely our knowledge of it.
Right.
Now, this precipitates an epistemological conundrum of sorts.
No.
Because any uncertainty in time-based measurements will propagate as uncertainty in other types of measurement. For instance, given a known distance, we'll find that any judgment of velocity will be subject to the uncertainty of our time judgment, since moving observers would unknowingly judge their velocities to be greater. Conversely, given a known velocity, it then becomes judgments of distance which suffer this uncertainty, since moving observers traversing such distances would unknowingly judge them to be shorter. Which brings us round to our essential conclusion. When we derived gamma for our sound clocks, the V and C stood for velocities with respect to our medium of air, and subsequently all our use of these quantities represented measurements that were certain. But in Einstein's gamma, the V and C stand for velocities with respect to the observer, not the medium. So if any manner of uncertainty can be shown to have crept into these values, it will reflect across every other type of measurement the theory has to offer. Indeed, it is this clue which will point us towards unraveling the remaining mysteries of relativity, mysteries such as length contraction or the relativity of simultaneity, placing us just steps away from being able to give physical intuition to the entirety of the theory. Meaning, very soon, for the first time, we will be in possession of an interpretation that doesn't.
No, don't show that. Don't show the opposite, with the black hole, the nonsense. Don't show it. Negative space, negative time. That's nonsense. Don't do it.
Lie on mathematical abstraction. Now, a huge shout out here to our Patreon subscribers, through whose support we've been able to bring,
Wait, so
probably already aware that this. Well, okay, but you. Comparisons were clock transmitted through this medium that relies on like Pythagorean manner. Uncertainty principle, or if it is ticking at a dialecticity principle for clocks. That is, since no clock-based measurement could ever be used to determine our motion with respect to the ether, this means
that's not true.
could ever be used to determine our motion with respect to the ether.
Not true.
A sort of uncertainty principle for clocks. That is, since no clock-based measurement could ever be used to determine our motion with
Well, no clock based, but what about an interferometer? An interferometer is two clocks, one ticking in one direction, the other one at 90 degrees to it. So you would know, right? If you always have, just like the inner ear, if you have three interferometers at right angles to each other in three planes, then you always know. You can always tell. As soon as you start moving, you get an immediate detection of motion, because you would get an interference as soon as you start moving relative. So not with a clock. Let me just repeat what he said.
is, since no clock-based measurement could ever be used to determine our motion with respect to the ether.
Oh my god, I'm not going to remember that statement. No clock based could ever be used to determine. Oh my god. Wait, can I read what it says? Where's the transcript? Oh my god. Wait, where's the transcript? Is there a transcript? No transcript? Where is the stable ambient playback quality? Where is the transcript? Transcript. No transcript? Transcript. Give me a transcript. Thanks. Clip, save, report. Oh my god, no transcripts here. Wait, maybe here? La 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 la. Show transcript. Transcript. That is, since no clock-based measurement could ever be used to determine our motion with respect to the ether. Just determine our motion with respect to the ether. That's good enough. Determine our motion. Oh my god, whatever. Determine our motion with respect to the ether. All right. However, no clock. So they said no clock in the beginning. No clock based. No clock. Whatever. No clock. But three Max, not Maxwell. What is it? Michelson. Michelson interferometers in three planes could. Yep. That's all I wanted to say. tired, Trinity. I'm so tired. I'm gonna start drinking 2 cups of coffee. I just cannot get through the day. It's not even late, and I want to fall asleep. Okay, okay. Anybody? No, nobody. Oh, we have an email from YouTube. Here's how your channel did last month. 18 new subscribers, 2,500 total views, 10,000 minutes watched. 10,000 minutes watched. 10,000? 10,000 divided by, so let's say 10,000 minutes divided by 60 minutes per hour. That's 166 divided by 24 hours per day. That's 7 days. That's 1 week. So, like, one person watched me for a whole week, just last last month. That's just last month. So one person watched me for a full week last month. So thank you so much, you people, very good people. Mr. Saleh, see what's new. Music. Okay, I'm not gonna bore you with these nonsensical details. Okay, I'm gonna take a break. Uh, I need to think about, yeah, resolving this paradox. That's gonna be, I guess that's gonna be next. I still haven't gotten to it, so I'll see you after this break.